I'm Marni Hughes, and this is Missing. Thank you for joining us. Each week, we cover a missing person case that isn't getting much attention. Every missing person matters, no matter their race, background, or circumstances. By highlighting these cases and sharing their stories, we believe every case is solvable, and together we can bring answers to the family and friends of the missing. This week's featured case, another birthday, comes and goes with no sign of Jesse Farber. Jesse should be with his family and friends this week, celebrating his 40th birthday. Instead, those closest to him wondering where he is. What happened to the man from Pennsylvania who loved his family deeply and would do anything for them?
We were best friends before we went into a relationship and we became parents together. We grew up together. I mean, he was with me all the time, and, you know, he's missing. And so part of me is missing out there.
Rachel Carroll says she got a frantic call from Jesse on the night of August 11th, 2015. And he told her to bring guns, that he was in a tree and surrounded by coyotes. Was he hallucinating? Was he in danger? 10 years later, the search of two wooded areas and still no sign of Jesse. Before we get to Jesse's disappearance, another case we want to provide an update on. This is Kovinik. She goes by Angel, reported missing on July 12th. The 38-year-old was on a cross-country road trip that started in Florida. According to the San Diego County Sheriff's Office, relatives say they last saw and heard from her on July 5th. She was driving through San Diego County at the time. Her vehicle and trailer were found in Potrero, California. Police say it's possible she could have crossed into Mexico near Tecate. She has several tattoos on her arm and leg. According to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, Angel's mother got a photo of a letter with GPS coordinates instructing her to give Angel's personal belongings to her mom. Anyone with information about Angel's whereabouts is asked to contact the San Diego Sheriff's Office. Now to the disappearance of Jesse Farber. Today is Jesse's 40th birthday, one his family and friends will mark without him. It's been 10 years since Jesse vanished from his home in Pennsylvania. A frantic last phone call for help still replaying in their mind.
He was very involved with our kids, very loving, very supportive. He wanted the best for, his little family.
Rachel Carroll has been looking for Jesse Farber for 10 years.
We were best friends before we went into a relationship and we became parents together. We grew up together. I mean, he was with me all the time, and he's missing, and so part of me is missing out there.
On August 1st, 2015, the couple had an argument over some missing money from Jesse's paychecks. Jesse left their apartment to stay at his grandmother's and some friends' houses for the next week. Rachel said his mind was burdened.
The last day that I physically seen Jesse was August 8th. He said to me that, he had to do something on his own, and basically when he dealt with that, everything would be okay, and we'd be, he'd come back home and we'd be back together again, everything like that, which made me worry even more because it seemed like there was definitely something going on.
Two days later, Monday, August 10th, Jesse skipped work. Rachel said she heard he met with a woman trying to get some money back that she had taken from him. Then he stayed with some friends from that crowd overnight. And although Rachel says he wasn't known to use drugs, he used meth, playing video games well into the night.
We've got a large chunk of his file, and in that are Facebook Messenger messages. He had done some math. He had tried to purchase some more, and there was a girl that actually ripped him off. And so there's some conversations that day that he went missing going on about back and forth about him trying to recover that money.
None of these people were somebody in his daily life or anything. Like everything about this is very out of character for him.
At 8:43 on the night of August 11th, Rachel got a frantic call from Jesse.
He said, "Bring guns. I'm in a tree. 10 to 11 coyotes are after me, and my phone's gonna die." It was really quiet in the background. Like it didn't sound like there was animals around him or anything like that. It's definitely a possibility that he was hallucinating.
Jesse and Rachel knew the woods, but Jesse gave Rachel 2 locations of where he was calling from. One on a mountain by the high school, the other on a mountain by the elementary school. The locations were across town from each other.
And he went back and said, no, I'm at, the Tamaqua High School, the mountain up there. And I said, are you sure? And he said, yes. And then I asked him, well, where exactly are you at? And that's when the phone died.
Search teams and cadaver dogs searched the mountain behind the high school.
And there was dive teams, there was mine shaft search, there was all kinds of stuff. And for, I'd say about 8 years, that's where we searched.
8 years of searching, yielding few results. 2 bags were found, but Rachel never saw them. Rachel was told the first bag, found in 2015 on the mountain near the elementary school, had Jesse's license in it. The second bag, found a year later in a tree, had clothing and a phone charger in it. But there's been no way for Rachel to verify either discovery. So Rachel hired a private investigator, Steve Fisher. Through phone records and data analysis, Fisher discovered Jesse's phone actually pinged off the other mountain location Jesse had mentioned, behind the elementary school.
We think we got about a 1 mile area that varies in width, a couple hundred yards. So it's not a huge area, but it's a tricky area. And it's along a ridge line, and there is open mine shafts in that area.
Some of the holes that I've seen, it's crazy to look at, and it's just straight up and down. And if you're running in the dark and you slid into one and fell, there's no doubt that he got hurt, and he probably wouldn't have seen it coming.
For now, Rachel is raising money to hire a team for a more extensive search into these mines.
With the professionals, they could bring in equipment. They could bring in stuff that could, sonar for underwater and stuff all the stuff that we could, it would help eliminate a lot of options.
Fisher has his own theory.
He was scared at whatever he was perceiving. He felt he was being chased, and he was in the dark, and there is some just sheer drop-offs there. Unfortunately, you can literally run right off a cliff.
I understand I might never know what happened, but if I could bring him home to our kids and give him peace, that's what matters most.
Again, it's been 10 years. Jesse would be 40 years old, celebrating that birthday this week. Rachel Carroll is with us now. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. As I listened to you recount the story all those years ago, the private investigator, the clues, are you all operating under the impression that Jesse fell or somehow walked off of a cliff because he was scared versus anything nefarious?
For the most part, that's what I believe. I believe that he was running because he was scared, and he might have fell into one of the stripping pits or one of the holes up there. There's so many, and it's treacherous, especially at nighttime. If you're running, and you could slip and you wouldn't even see that ahead of you.
Because of that idea, that theory, it's peculiar that the 2 bags were in different locations. How does the private investigator or police explain that?
Well, I've been trying to see these bags for quite a long time, because I feel like if I could see them, I'd have a better idea of where he actually was. They do believe that the bag on the high school mountain was his, because family members of his have said that it was his. I did see a picture, and I didn't believe it didn't match his bag. So I still I looked and searched in both these areas quite a few times just to make sure. But as for knowing for sure, hopefully one day I'll be able to see them. And with the police, they just said they didn't keep the bags for evidence or anything like that. And I asked if they were able to provide a picture or get the bags to see them. And they said that there was nothing they could do right now.
Is that because the investigation is active? And is it in fact active? Are you in touch with police or the family?
It is active. The police do take in reports, but I don't know if they're actually looking into everything. But I am in touch with the police, and they are very helpful.
What about this community, Rachel, Tamaqua, Pennsylvania? Tell us about the area, how familiar you and Jesse are with it.
Well, it's an old coal mining town. So basically the town itself sits inside lake. It's almost like a bowl. And there's mountains that like surround the whole town. So we, growing up there, a lot of people would spend a lot of time in the woods. Like we would go up and have fires, hiking, four-wheeling's a big thing up here. So we were very familiar with the woods.
Is Jesse's disappearance, Rachel, still something people talk about now, a decade later?
Absolutely. It's like definitely a big thing everybody talks about in this town and even surrounding areas. A lot of people know about his case. And I've been trying to keep it, out in the headlines and stuff like that as much as possible, just so he's not forgotten, and for support for people to, keep coming to searches and stuff like that, which the community has been very great.
Yeah, it's brave what you're doing and important to be his advocate. The people that he was with that night, prior to that phone call that you had with him, have they said anything more about how he was doing, his demeanor, what happened that night?
They said that everything was okay. From the people that I talked to that he spent the night with, they said he was happy. Just hanging out, basically letting off steam. They didn't mention anything about him being worried about anything like how I was worried he was upset about something in those days before his disappearance. But the only thing that they did mention was that he was afraid of going to meet this person who ripped off him for that money. He felt like uneasy about it. And in the messages, it kind of like shows that a bit, in my opinion.
Have police ruled out any persons of interest at this point?
I'm not sure on that. I know they've talked to all those people and stuff, but I'm not sure if they're actually like looking into anything like that.
10 years is a long time to not have Jesse. You say you're missing a piece of you with him gone. How do you mark the occasion of his birthday and all the other special occasions that you celebrate with the kids not having him around?
Well, usually like for tomorrow, we're planning to actually have like a family dinner and even like a birthday cake for Jesse. I think it's important that the kids know that they understand how much he was a part of our lives, even though he's still not here, and how much we love him and miss him.
How many kids do you guys share, and how old are the kids now?
We have 2 kids. Our son is 15 and our daughter is 11.
How did you and Jesse meet, Rachel?
We met through mutual friends. We met as teenagers, actually, and we were really good friends for quite a few years before we even started a relationship. So we've known each other and we've been close for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that you're going through this. And 10 years, as I said, is a long time not to have the answers that you deserve. If there's anything that you could say to Jesse right now, what would you say?
I would say that I love you so much. And like I promised you before, I'm never going to give up. I'm here no matter what. If you're out there, I'm just going to keep going until I find you to bring you home to the kids. We love you and we miss you.
Finally, Rachel, are there more searches planned? I mean, there's a lot of area out there still to look. How do you navigate that? And is there anything else on the horizon to help try to uncover clues?
Yeah, we're actually doing a search this Saturday, so it'll be the day after his birthday. And we do searches at least once a month, depending if we do searches for the other missing people around here. But last August, we did one every week, actually. So we're going to keep searching. And what we do is, thanks to my private investigator, Steve, he actually provided me with like a map. So when we do go out searching, it tracks my location. So we have a good idea of where we've been before. So we're not constantly covering the same grounds. So we're going to keep searching until we get that new area that he provided covered as well as we can. And hopefully in the future, we can get those professionals in with the equipment to search the areas that are just basically impossible and too dangerous for just volunteers to search.
Yeah, well, relentless in that search. Keep us posted, Rachel, this Saturday as you guys search again. And my thanks to you and to everyone for keeping Jesse's story out there. And we are thankful to be able to spotlight it with you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
And thank you for sharing Jesse's story.
Thank you. If you have any information on the disappearance of Jesse Farber, you can contact the Tamaqua Police Department. The number is on the screen. If there's a missing person case you think we should look into, you can send it to us at newsnationnow.com/missing and send us tips through our NewsNation app as well. I'm Marni Hughes in Chicago. This is Missing on NewsNation. As always, thank you for joining us. I'll be back next week with another missing case.